take them. Trying to reach this ultimate with no ultimatum. Proverbials conveying my verbatim proof vibrations.
All right, well, the wait is over. MMA Mondays are back with your favorite hosts of the Pride Rules MMA podcast. As always, we are sponsored by 80K Fightwear, Black Hole Jiu-Jitsu, Madama Jiu-Jitsu, and 2 Minute Warning Sports 360. I'm your host, the Reverend Tommy D. Here with me as my two best buddies, El Profesor, Omar Sangarima, and the Happy Casual, Chris Gucci. What's up, boys?
I forgot about that. Well done. Well done.
That's legit.
I totally forgot about that.
Well, guys, you know, it was a pretty quiet week for MMA news, except for a few things that were in there. One of them I kind of want to talk about right now. Cyborg put on a tremendous performance against Holly Holm, and Dana White had come out and said, and we talked about it a little bit last week, that the fight to make is Amanda Nunes, and that's the fight he's going to make. Well, Cyborg's released a statement saying that she doesn't want to fight Nunes because she doesn't feel like she's achieved enough at 145. Chris, you were the one who wanted to talk about this last week. What are your thoughts on what Cyborg's come out and said?
I mean, then it just doesn't make sense because what has Holly done at the weight? You know, she's being a hypocrite because she just fought Holly Holm, who had 0 fights in the weight class. Am I wrong? Maybe
and a Holly Holm that took her to the 5th round and was putting it on her as much as she could.
So, you know, I feel like she's being a hypocrite. That's definitely the fight to make. Megan Anderson, that's who she's fighting. That's who she wants to fight instead, I believe. Or the next Invicta challenger. Like, what is she talking about Invicta for? She's in the UFC.
You know what it sounds like to me? And I'm sure you two are probably going to agree. It sounds like Tito Ortiz is telling her what to do, and she's just repeating it. That's what it sounds like to me.
That's an interesting theory. I haven't even really thought of that aspect of things with her, but it definitely makes sense.
You're taking
when
life,
I saw Tito
if you're taking life advice
her,
from Tito Ortiz, though, bro. If you're taking life advice from Tito Ortiz.
That's what he would. Doesn't that sound like something that he would say? I mean, this is a guy who's left millions of dollars on the table for not wanting to fight people that he knew that were going to beat him. I mean, Chuck Liddell put it on him.
I don't think
and
that
then he wouldn't fight him again.
You think that Cyborg's
Something
afraid to fight
up.
Nunes? I don't know if that's the case. I
don't think it's Cyborg. I think it's Tito probably figuring that there's got to be other opponents that don't hit as hard as Amanda Nunes.
That's definitely the fight to make, though. There's no question about it.
Of course it is. We know that.
I mean,
we know that, but sounds like something Tito Ortiz would tell her. I mean, he is her manager, right?
If she ends up fighting Ken Shamrock in Bellator, then I'll give the theory a little more credence. But as of right now, I don't know. Like, and I give Cyborg the edge in that fight, but I don't know. I think there's just not. Who else is she gonna fight? There's just not a lot of folks for her, you know, which is a detriment, I feel, because I think she could be a superstar if she had a better foil. She just doesn't have one.
That's why Nunes is the fight to make, though.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you, Tommy. I think they should. Do I think it goes the same way? I would be hoping for a finish from those two ladies. You know, a little bit more fireworks, but who knows? Weirder things have happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, something like that bothers me. You know, I haven't achieved enough at 145. Well, what more for you is there to achieve? Look at her fights at 145. Tanya Evinger, who's not a 145 fighter, did pretty well against her.
I feel like she's gonna this is gonna be an issue that she's gonna have the rest of her career because there isn't many 145 women that are on that level.
Yeah, so I don't know what Dana White's gonna have to do to make this Nunes fight happen, but
I think we gotta put the bat signal out for Fallon Fox.
I think they should have Fallon Fox fight CM Punk. That's what I think.
I think CM loses that fight as well.
So
do I.
Let's leave this. Yeah. Let's just.
Yeah. I'm being respectful. I'm being completely respectful. I'm trying to come up with actual matchmaking. I'm getting my Sean Shelby on, Chris. All right, let me live. I'm legit trying.
But I mean, honestly, next to Megan Anderson, there's nobody else.
We all
Are they
follow
gonna
the
cut
sport
one of
religiously.
Gabby Garcia's arms off and have her come fight at 145?
It'll still come in at 160 though. It'll still come in heavy. Don't trust that, bro.
I don't know. Just it doesn't smell right to me. This Cyborg, like what she said. It's like I said. It sounds totally like Tito Ortiz, 100%. And if that's the case, he's gonna end up losing
to me,
money.
To me, it's annoying because when it was Ronda, it was like give the people what they want, and now that it's you have the belt, it's you want to be, you're being exactly what you were criticizing Ronda.
And this is one of those things that draw me back to not liking her at all. That it's weird. It's one of those things that draw me back to not liking her because it looks like she's running. And it looks like she's running from somebody who is less than her. That's kind of nuts.
Maybe she's trying to set up the long play. Who knows? She's trying to go after me and then, I don't know. Fight once more and then leave. Like, who the hell else are you going to do at this point in your career?
You're not going to have the reason why it's stupid is because you're not going to have a champion move up in a weight class, and just fight a contender fight. You're going to move up for a belt. So what Cyborg wants Nunes to do is come up and fight someone in the division first. She's a champion. What the fuck are you talking about? She's going to, not defend her belt, go fight like a, number 3 fighter in the weight class above her. Who would it be? Who would she have to beat that would be sufficed for Cyborg to fight Nunes? Is there even another fighter in the division?
The only other name that was brought up was Megan Anderson, if she could get into the country, or whatever the problem was. They should
bring the UFC to her.
Nothing.
They should just fight out there. Be like, forget the visa issues. We're gonna have a show, build it around that. Get Mark Hunt on there as well once he's done with Perth. Yeah.
Well, we'll see what he could do with Curtis Blades.
It's tough.
We'll see what he could do with him.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so we'll see what's going on with that. Like I said, it sounds a little fishy to me, but who am I? So we got an event this weekend, guys. I'm not really too excited about the main event of the evening, but the other fights on the card seem pretty interesting. Chris, what fight's getting you going? Is it the Kamaru Usman and the Emil Mech fight?
Yeah, I'm interested in that fight, but I think it's a terrible matchup for Mech. And I give him credit because nobody else in the division wants to fight Usman. He's going to be a problem. It's just the whole division, really. I keep talking about the welterweight division. But this is a good fight. It's exciting. I think he has a puncher's chance, but I just imagine him getting wrestled. Can't see it going any other way. But
yeah,
I'm excited to see.
Watching Usman on Tough 21, he's got really, really good wrestling.
Yeah.
Like scary good wrestling.
Super athletic.
Yeah.
Really good athlete.
It's racist.
I guess is
really? That's all you got? That's all you got for a fucking Nigerian fighter? I see what you're throwing down.
The fuck? I mean, is he not a good fucking athlete?
I'm sure he is, but why is that the first thing that comes to mind? I'm pretty sure his fight IQ is amazing as well. What do you got to say to that?
I didn't say that. Talked about his wrestling first.
Yeah, we're a lot nicer on the Pride rules, but we're not race baiting like others that shall remain nameless. Good Lord. Just poking a little fun at Chris's travail.
I didn't even realize that Mech's not even ranked.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that he wasn't ranked.
I'm just glad Matthew Riddle is back in the UFC, fighting Kamaru Usman. Super excited. Take a look.
For the fans who don't know who that is,
look him up then. Fuck you.
Pretty much most people.
That gets me. I made a great Matt Riddle reference. And
I like Matt Riddle.
If you do a side-by-side, it just looks like Matt Riddle went on Skid Row, let his hair grow out and his beard, came back, Shred City, and said, I'm here to fuck up this Nigeria nightmare.
Sure. So, Omar, who you got?
Matt Riddle by whatever he wants. No, Usman for sure. There's no... He's too athletic. Yeah.
Wait, what? What the fuck?
No, I think Usman's a problem for almost anybody in this division. Like you said, nobody's trying to touch him. I think Emil, I love how game he is for trying. I think he's trying to break in. He's doing the right things. Win or lose, if this is an exciting fight, I don't see, the loser fading too much. It's
I would say like maybe it's something, one of those cases where it's too much too soon for Mech, but I don't think it'll ever materialize for him and where he'll be able to beat.
I know Jency's really pulling for Emil.
That.
I know that, Chris. I know your girl Jency's all about Valhalla.
I like Mech. I've been talking about him for a fucking year and a half. Since the Paul Harris knockout. I watched the whole.
That was tremendous. He did the world a service that evening, so I'll always be a fan. He really did. It's like he put down a rabid bear or like an escaped, fucking jaguar.
Joe Rogan talking about it. He's like this crazy Viking dude.
Yeah,
and then you obviously YouTube the fight, and it was fucking great.
It was amazing, and that was at 185 though, wasn't it? Was that matchup at 185? I think outside the UFC.
It would make sense because he is big.
Yeah. That's the one thing, Usman's not a small guy, but if anything, maybe Emil's got tricks up his sleeve that we don't know. He is a Viking. He's got his astrological symbol tattooed on his chest. You have to be tough.
I'm pulling for him. I hope he wins, but I don't think he can.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
The other fight that gets me excited is Paige.
Wait a second. How did I know?
We can leave that one alone.
Yeah, I mean,
makes you want to go to that.
What does this mean for Paige if she loses? That's what I want to know. What does this mean for Paige if she loses?
It means she's just gonna fight again. Another, 3.
Yeah, honestly,
doesn't mean anything. I mean, she's fighting. She's not going anywhere, bro.
Fights. Yeah, get out of here.
You know what it is, man? She's fighting an unranked opponent. I mean, I don't know, man. If she loses, it doesn't look too good for her.
Is that a beauty mark or a tear on Jessica Rose Clark's face, or a mole on the eye?
Jessica Rose Clark is the one that just fought Beck Rawlings. Is that correct?
Good old Rowdy. And just beat her up.
Chris's favorite follow on Instagram, apparently.
Oh, shit, that is a tattoo. I wasn't even... Wow, this broad is tough as shit. She got 2 face tattoos. Good God. She's killed people, guys. Paige Van Zandt's going to get fucked up. This lady. Yo.
Paige
she goes through job interviews saying that,
I think Paige just got her blue belt.
Oh, watch out. Watch out. It's like putting me in a fucking MMA fight at this point, yeah. See me get washed. Fuck out of here.
Oh, stop it.
Good Lord.
I like
hope
Paige.
She puts on a jiu-jitsu clinic.
I like
with
Paige.
With her blue belt? Okay.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah. Did you say blue belt or boo belt? Wait, what did you just say?
Oh, no. I see. I don't do that hot yoga like Chris. Paige Van Zandt. No, if Paige Van Zandt loses, she's going to get like a spot on American Idol or something that's going to get resuscitated. She's got other avenues. She'd do a vidcast.
The UFC's not going to keep giving her fights?
Easily. And they're going to start giving her easier and easier fights. Watch. I'm not saying Jessica Rose Clark is easy. But if she starts having a skid, they're going to hand her, the grandma that Gabby Garcia did not fight. and rising.
Well, isn't she already? She's pretty much
but
on a
does that
skid
person
already.
exist? Like who is the person that you're gonna say Paige fights? Or do you not know the name? Is it someone you haven't heard of yet?
Probably someone you haven't heard of yet. Maybe someone they're
I
bringing
can't
up from
imagine
Invicta.
Yeah.
She's to be the youngest gatekeeper in the UFC.
Jesus,
Why all
that's
the hate?
terrible.
Why all the hate? What's going on here? What the fuck is going on here?
That's tough, man. Already giving her the gatekeeper moniker. That's strong. Good grief.
Oh, bro, I like Paige, but I don't want to see her turn
can't-
into Angela Magana, getting fight after fight after fight if she doesn't win.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at Jessica Rose Clark's bio and I'm fucking getting afraid. I'm gonna have to close this tab. God. Fucking.
So, Chris,
Broadway
in your
face
honest
tattoos.
opinion, put your schlong away.
Oh,
Who
whoa!
do you think wins?
Whoa!
Because I know he's looking
Paige.
at. I know he's looking at Paige.
Paige
You think
definitely
Paige
is
is gonna
win? I do.
How?
I don't
do.
get it.
How?
Yeah.
Sheer beauty. Sheer beauty.
Oh, she gives him the Care Bear stare. She just busts out the Care Bear stare and fucking
Oh
just-
man.
glamours her way to a victory. That's an old D&D reference because I'm a nerd. So, Jesus Christ.
What do you think, Omar?
I think a broad with face tattoos is not to be trifled with. Paige Van Zandt's going to get her shit took. Done. It's over. Jessica Rose Clark
Did you
looks
call
like
her a
somebody that I would be
broad?
afraid of if she rolled up on me in like an old body Civic. I'd be like, oh shit, it's happening. Fuck, I wish I had told my mom I loved her before I left. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's serious business.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on Jessica Rose Clark beating Paige.
She opens
Unfortunately.
the car door and it just says World Star. She doesn't know where it comes from. Just opens the car door.
Oh my God!
Fuck, man. Yo, look
All
at
right,
her.
guys, let's jump onto this next barn burner that's gonna have the whole world on the seat of its pants. Uriah Hall versus Vitor Belfort,
Oh,
and the loser goes to Bellator match.
Yeah.
oh my God. Jesus. The shadows
And I'm not
on the UFC
I'm
on
not
the
bagging
thing
on
doesn't make them
Bellator
look
at
good.
all. I'm not
Yeah, you
bagging on Bellator at all, but
Fuck out. Yeah, you are.
if Uriah Hall can't beat today's Vitor Belfort, he does not deserve to be in that middleweight division.
Is this fight on an Indian casino? Hold on, I want to check. That'll influence my pick.
No, USADA's
Mhm.
involved, bro. USADA's
Oh,
involved.
fuck. Then it's over. Vitor Belfort's a 90-year-old man at this point with the mileage. All right? His knees might break like walking up to the cage on the stairs. You're going to see him. He's going to take the stair one stair at a time. It's going to be like the old man
Yeah,
shuffle.
it is. I'm gonna be honest. It is uncomfortable watching Vitor fight at this point.
Right? God.
It's sad. It's not uncomfortable. It's sad.
Just however you want to describe
It's sad.
Yeah.
Because you remember early Vitor, punching Wanderlei Silva across the cage with like
Oh, Wanderlei.
9,000 punches to the face.
He went
Oh,
old school.
man.
I appreciate it. I'm not mad at it at all. Wanderlei. Like it.
And then, Pride Vitor wasn't really
Fucking dumbass.
the killer that he used to be, but the guy was going through a lot with his sister. But then he comes back. Yes, it was TRT, but he's just knocking people out left and right. He turned Michael Bisping into a Cyclops. He was the man.
That was
And then he gets front kicked by Anderson Silva. Loses that. Tears John Jones's arm off. Still somehow loses. USADA
Cocaine.
comes in.
cocaine.
No more TRT. And we've got the Vitor that we have now. Can any of you guys tell me the last fight he won? By any chance?
Christ, no. I couldn't. Without clicking on it, I'm gonna cheat, and still, it probably won't even show it because it only shows like his last 5. Oh shit, Nate Marquardt. No? Or did he lose to Nate? No, he lost to Nate, right? No. Fuck you. Hold on. Did he really beat Nate Marquardt? Jesus Christ.
Well, everybody else did.
Oh, no, stop it. Nate the Great, King of Pancrase. How
Except for
dare you?
Tyron
Man
Woodley.
of God. Man of God, by the way.
Yeah, Tyron Woodley got starched by Nate.
Yeah.
But that was
The
early on
17
in Woodley's career.
And
I
Nate
can't
was
hold that
on
against
all
him.
sorts of gear. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
Nate was experimenting. Yeah, let's not give him that hard pass. He was on shit too. Vitor.
Okay, so Vitor hasn't beaten anybody under 40 years of age
Oh,
in a long time.
Fucking the slander is just epic proportions right now. This is he beat Nate. He lost. Oh, you're right. Because Dan Henderson. Look at you. Well played, Tommy.
Thank you.
He beat Luke Rockhold. But that was 17 years ago, otherwise known as 2013. So, yeah.
TRT Vitor.
TRT. TRT Vitor is my biggest argument for letting people do TRT because the fight IQ in between those cauliflower ears and that blank Brazilian stare on TRT is almost unstoppable. It's fucking insane. You know what I mean? Like, the second he stops fighting, he should get back on TRT just to be normal.
Yeah, bro, look at A-Rod. Kidding me? A-Rod and J-Lo are look like 20-somethings running around.
Right, and I think J-Lo's taking TRT. J-Lo's on something, man. She's got that Ponce de Leon fucking Fountain of Youth going on. So,
it's called A Lot of Money and Botox.
No,
I don't know about all that, man. J-Lo don't look like
J-Lo. Faces. She doesn't look like Mariah Carey.
She's bad as hell.
Ooh.
Fuck that.
Okay. So, Omar.
He's like, all right, we get it. Shut the fuck up, Tommy.
Omar, do you think Uriah Hall beats him, or do you think Vitor somehow pulls it out?
The only time Vitor pulls it out is if Uriah Hall is bowing to him mid-round, which it's very possible that he would. Because that's just Uriah doing Uriah. You know, he's a legend, so he's going to show him all sorts of deference and respect. But no, my Jamaican brother does some spinning shit and finally sends Vitor to Ryzen.
Is this one of those situations where it all depends on which Uriah Hall steps into that cage?
Absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Aren't you kind of sick of saying that about almost every one of his fights, though?
I mean, but you know, if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. I mean, that's just Uriah Hall. Like, it's his thing. If he had his head on straight and he had a killer instinct, consistently, he could be a champion in this division. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. He's that good. You know, when he's on, he's a world beater. But fuck, man, you know, he's got to go see a sports psychologist. Hopefully, not the same one that Tiger Woods saw after getting outed, because you know Tiger never quite came back. But somebody better.
Oh Jesus, Chris, what do you think? Good God, he went the Tiger Woods route. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm going deep in the murky waters of the underworld, guys. I'm feeling it.
I just don't see a situation where Vitor could beat the younger guy unless he's on steroids at this point. I'll be surprised if Vitor pulls it out. But either way, I mean, like, we really want to see him. What's next for Vitor after this? What's the point?
Silent Library
Ryzen,
Brazil
hopefully.
edition, I think. And he's a game show guy. Brazil, he's still a big deal. Run for office.
I'm not saying that, you know, I'm just saying he's not really bringing anything new to the table. I don't think he's improving.
Him versus Vanderlei in Ryzen, the rematch, 25 years in the making.
I think Vitor, we've actually spoken about this on the show, I believe, where Vitor talked about that Legends League. Maybe he should start something like that in Brazil.
Let somebody else handle the seating, though. Than the Gucci clan.
Don't let the Gucci brothers handle the seating.
Jesus Christ.
Get the fuck
P.T.
outta
Barnum. P.T. Barnum, they are not. That's all I'm going to say.
First of all, you can't even blame me entirely.
Okay, sure.
However, you guys are fucking
2 weeks in a row.
Kind of off on a lot of the shit you were
down
saying,
the
too.
2 weeks in a row, selling the poor guy down there. He's not here to defend himself. We should have him on as a guest. That's my contribution.
I keep telling him to call in. Well, listen.
He's busy doing hot yoga.
Shit. We got a couple minutes before we got to give Shorty a call, so let's talk about the main event. Who the fuck is that guy? Jeremy Stephens against Doo Choi. I'm going to start this one off. I think Doo Choi punches the shit out of Jeremy Stephens and it doesn't get out of the second round. Omar?
I think he beats him and then he comes out as a double agent for Kim Jong-un. Starts
Wow.
waving the fucking North Korean flag. Giant button. Giant picture of a button. It's like, I got this, guys.
Chris,
what about you, Chris?
I think, Jeremy Stephens is he's a tough guy, obviously, but his style is just too, one punch at a time. Big haymaker.
His style is just too sucktastic at this point.
Yeah,
and he looks like a little rascal from the neck up in this photo. All right, looks like Petey. The dog, yes.
Yeah,
the dog.
It's funny. He does just enough to keep his name in, but just doesn't get the push to get there. You know what I mean? He does just enough. He's been hot and cold his whole career, but he just keeps dropping in the rankings. He's ranked number 9 now.
That's
he was
generous.
Frankie. He was fighting Frankie at what was it, the MSG card. Frankie was, had 17 number 1 contender fights before he had that.
How is this a main event? Like, where is this a main event?
That's what I want to know.
Is this in Jeremy's hometown? Is it in Pyongyang?
St. Louis.
Sorry, the southern one?
St. Louis, I believe it's St. Louis.
Christ. Who the fuck pissed off Dana White that's from St. Louis that he gave him this fucking steaming pile of shit? Good God.
I'm surprised it's not Vitor and Uriah headlining. The legend Vitor.
The legend. He is a legend. I'm not even going to say that.
He's a legend.
He is a goddamn legend. He should stop fighting these top-tier guys, though. Him versus Shane Carwin at Ryzen, I would pay money to watch.
Well, he's not really fighting a top-tier guy. He's fighting a guy that's ranked 1 below him, for Christ's sakes.
He's fighting a chameleon.
Number 11 and number 12.
All right. He's fighting a Houdini who disappears in big fights.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is one of those sleeper cards, I think, where, it doesn't really do it for me. It's probably not going to get a lot of views. But, there's some other good fights on there. James Krause and Alex White. Michael Johnson and Darren Elkins. If you guys want to talk about the Michael Johnson and Darren Elkins fight a little bit. That one does more for me than the main event.
It definitely does. That's the second most intriguing fight on the card. Well, I guess third, but, we will mention the Page reasons again.
So who do you got in that fight, Chris?
Jesus.
Is Johnson's first fight at 45?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yes.
But without a shot. He hasn't been 45 since age 13. I think that's a direct quote from Tommy last week. Accurate as well.
Yeah, wait, Tommy hasn't been 135? Tommy hasn't been 135 since 9.
I haven't been 135 since I was 6 years old, all right? I was a fat kid. Let's move past it.
I mean, 135 since.
But anyway, yeah, Darren
wrestling.
Elkins is tough. He's a grinder, but Michael Johnson might be too athletic for him.
Oh,
yeah, but you think the weight cut might be a problem?
Guess we'll find out. But I don't.
Fun fact.
Good answer, Chris, really.
Michael Johnson actually has a rosary tattooed around his neck. So he's got that going for him.
Omar,
so Michael Johnson by rosary.
He's gonna give him that Peruvian necktie. Watch.
Oh, to be honest, I think Michael Johnson's gonna win too. as long as he doesn't gas out. I think I'll end up actually knocking out Elkins, to be honest with you.
Darren
I
Elkins
mean,
on UFC.com looks like he just caught him
shots.
fucking his sister. I'm sorry, Tommy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think Michael
I'm
Johnson just a step up for Elkins.
Darren Elkins.
Well, we'll find out.
Like he should have a rat tail.
Thanks.
A rat tail.
You made fun of me for saying the same thing.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Find out. He
Well,
says it.
While Omar is giving our boy Shorty a call, Chris, March 3rd, it is what it is. UFC 222. They finally announced it. Frankie Edgar and Max Holloway finally get to fight. For me, it's very hard for me to get excited about this until the actual weigh-ins because you never know anymore. What do you think, man?
You know what I think? I think, obviously, I respect Frankie. I just think he's in over his head here. Just not going to happen for him. I think you're going to see Frankie get finished. I don't want to give the analysis on the fight. I think it's good that Frankie did get his shot back. You know, he didn't do anything to lose it besides get injured. And, you know, Dana kind of made you feel like he might, you know, go another direction with some comments. So I'm at least happy Frankie's getting the opportunity. I just don't know.
Oh, we got him.
Yeah, that was
Let me
weird.
bring him on. He's ready to go, guys. I'm sorry to cut you off. He's ready to go,
All right, fine.
and he sounds delightful. All right, let me bring him on here. Jose, you there?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Titan FC's champ, Jose Shorty Torres. Jose, how you feeling, brother?
I'm great, man. I'm alive. I can't complain. How about you?
Oh, man, we're doing good, brother. So it's nice that we actually can have a fighter on here who can actually talk about his next up-and-coming fight because it's been made public. So, February, you excited?
Yeah, man. You know, it's been about 2 months since I fought last, and I'm just trying to make up for time that's been lost. You know, my 2 fights ago, I broke my hand for my MCL. I was on a 6-month layoff, and then this last fight, I took a bunch of calf kicks, which I highly recommend for no one to take any calf kicks. And I had a couple stitches. I had to take some time off again, and I'm just excited to get back in there. And right now, I'm actually down here at American Top Team in Coconut Creek, Florida. And it's an amazing training camp, man. So I'm really happy to just show my new skills and show what's next for me.
Now, you mentioned the calf kick. Joe Rogan keeps talking about it all the time, like it's this big new thing that everybody's doing. What does that actually feel like when someone's just slicing right into your calf with those low kicks?
Dude, it sucks because the biggest thing is, one, it's running straight into bone, and then right next to the bone are a bunch of nerve endings. So, like, the first time I got kicked in the fight, my leg went numb. I fell, I was flat. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, it happens. I get back up. I don't really feel my leg, but I can walk. And then I took another one. I'm just like, damn it. Like, this really starts to suck. And the worst thing about it is the only thing you can do is shin block, but you're blocking with the part that's already getting kicked. So even though I was able to shin block a couple times, it's still banging on it and banging on it and banging on it. So it becomes numbing to the point where your body doesn't even allow you to walk anymore. So, you take 3, 4, or 5 couple of those, it's definitely a huge, huge game changer. One, I wanted to switch stances, and 2, I was like, screw it, I got to take this guy down because he's just going to keep on taking my leg, and there's nothing I can do about it because my leg's already beat up, and if I keep shin blocking, I'm just adding more to the damage. So it is 100% a game changer.
Yeah, well, now you said that you broke your hand. Was that the fight where you won your second belt when you broke your hand?
Yeah, where I initially won the second belt against Farkhad Sharapov. I ended up getting dropped in that fight, getting guillotined, escaping from it. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you called me with a really good shot. That. My turn. And I threw a punch, and then I heard a click. I was like, did I break my hand? Let me try it again. Punched him again. I was like, no, yeah, it's definitely broken. Okay, cool. Well, let's see how the rest of the fight goes. And little I know. Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. Like, nothing else I can do about it, So, I started throwing more jabs, just mainly leading with the left. And I stand up, off my stool after the first round. I shake my left leg. I'm like, cool. Shake my right leg, and my leg just lifted up. It never even shook. I was like, what? the hell's wrong with my leg? I can barely even bend my knee. And so I started to get worried. And then later on in the fight, you get punched so many times, you forget about your knee, you forget about the little stuff. And, I was moving like nothing happened, like my hand wasn't broken. It hurt every time I punched, but I was like, all right, I got the adrenaline on my side. Like, I'm just pushing forward. And little I know, after the fight, I went to the hospital. They go, yeah, you completely shattered your hand. You didn't break it. You shattered it. So I ended up getting something like 5 plates or, 5 to 7 plates and then like 5 to 7 screws. It was ridiculous. And then my knee, I ended up tearing my MCL, not knowing it. So in the first round, I broke my hand, tore my MCL, got dropped, and stuck in a really, really tight choke where it did, mess up my conditioning a little bit, and I was able to push harder 4 more rounds to win my second belt.
Yeah, well, it certainly didn't look like you tore anything in your knee when you broke his hand with those nasty low kicks. Holy Christ!
Yeah. I was throwing them because I was like, man, I got to do something because I can't throw my right hand, and I was throwing the kick, towards, a little bit above the liver, the soft spot, and he went to block it. He blocked it wrong, and it just, caught his hand, and I guess he broke his wrist or his thumb or whatever the case may be. But after the fight, him and I both took a picture, like, hey, we both got broken heads. Yay, life sucks. And it's a tough sport, man, because that fight, honestly, I'm glad everything did happen. As much as it sucks to have happened and, sucks to say, it's a learning experience. I'm 25 years old, and, it starts to teach you, like, hey, man, you're not invincible. The older you get, eventually you're going to get bumps and bruises. As long as you do the sport, you're going to get dropped, whatever the case may be, stuck in chokes and all that stuff. It's a tough sport, and the tougher the competition, only the harder it's going to be. So I'm just happy that, again, I get to fight February 16th and prove again, once again that I'm ready for the UFC.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. What the hell is going on with that?
Interesting story for our listeners.
So it's a pro and a con. So they have called. They've called a number of times. The only problem I have with it is 2 things. One, they've called for the Contender Series when it was available in the summer. Sadly, I couldn't take any of the fights just because I was still recovering. And 2, I think it's a fantastic show. I see nothing wrong with the show, but I believe I already proved myself to the point where I don't need a show, or I don't need to fight in front of Dana White. So, they called up, but hey, so be it. So they called me a couple times, like, hey, Mick, man, I'm injured. I'm sorry I can't do it. But he called me every single week, and I was like, dude, I can't fight. He was, from when I'm just the guy at the other end. There's a messenger in between, messaging me all this stuff, and I'm just like, I can't fight until November, but my hand will be cleared in August. He goes, okay, well, your hand is cleared late August. How about you fight first week of September? Dude, I need to make sure I can still punch healthy, So
you should have blocked him. You should have blocked him on social media for a couple weeks.
I should have.
That's an interesting story for the listeners.
Yeah, and then they called me for Justice Scoggins, which, again, I couldn't take because I was so injured, which would have been an awesome fight. And then I ended up, recovering, fought Bleeps in the Jesus, won that fight. And then they called me again, and I'm injured. I'm like, fuck. Like, my calf is beat up. I'm barely walking. I'm walking on my grandmother's cane. And I have stitches, so I shouldn't be fighting for a good month, but they're calling me for December 16th, December 30th for Tim Elliott, which would have been an awesome fight. I think that's a great story and a great promotional event. But I honestly, in 2 ways, 1, I'm injured, I can't take it. And 2, it's like, I think these type of fights are more promotional based. I think these fights can be, not a main event, but something that could be one of the headliners for a Fox night, or a headliner for a prelim, on a Fox night. I think that'd be awesome. But they keep calling me for last minute fights, and it's just one of those things that I know they have a bunch of people shelved, but why are they calling me for last minute fights? If you see my accolades, you see my record, why don't you give me a contract, and we can better promote me and easily do something that I believe is something unheard of. Again, no one has my type of record at 6-0 with 2 world championships and 2 title defenses. I don't think it's ever been done in history in MMA. So it's like, what else do you want from me?
Oh, he said it perfect. I didn't even have to say it, Chris.
I'm in lockstep.
2 belts and 2 title defenses.
You answered 2 of my questions before I even got an opportunity, which is amazing. I think the perspective is interesting because, a lot of people want to jump on the opportunity. So it was almost a blessing that you were injured, because I feel like you're in a position where you should be able to call your shot, so to speak, as far as, choosing your route in. like
Yeah,
young
and
or 25.
see, like the UFC is very different. They're a very, very powerful company that gets a lot of people to do what they want. At least from what I see. I've been offered nothing but last minute stuff, which hey, I'm really happy for the opportunity, and I'm very prideful. I would love to take every single one of them, even if the weight cut's going to be horrible because it's last minute or whatever the case may be. I'd love to take them all, but at the time, sadly, again, I couldn't because I was injured. But you look at, given I'm no Vasily Lomachenko, but you look at what he's done as an amateur, huge accolades. You compare him to mine. I might not have 300-plus fights in MMA, but I have over 100-plus. I have over 200 competitive matches in all wrestling, MMA, kickboxing, all that stuff combined. So it's like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
In the craft MMA, I think that's pretty fair. You go in the pro, Lomachenko's pro debut, okay, dominates. His second, gets a world title fight, sadly loses. His third fight, ends up winning his first world title. For me, my second one, I ended up, I was fighting Titan FC my first one. Second one, I fought a guy with 16 pro fights. I was only 1-0. My third one, I won my first world title. My fifth fight, I win my second world title. And Lomachenko's, I believe, fourth or fifth fight, he won his second world title. So if you look at the comparison and stuff, I might not be as athletically gifted as Vasily Lomachenko or have that many followers, but if you look at the passive marketing aspect, it's like maybe you can bank off of me because there's been no one in history that's been able to do what I've done in the sport of MMA.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, come on, guys. Like, what else? Again, what else do I have to do? Like, I've already not just won both belts, but I've defended both of them, showing that I'm not just a champion, but I'm a dominant one at that. So, I'm just waiting for what's next. I'd like to make a UFC debut at 125, hopefully March 3rd. I think that's an amazing card, but maybe with Frankie Edgar and Max Holloway as the headliner. But we'll see what happens next. I'm just down here at ATT getting ready, and next February 16th, unless the UFC has something else to say about it.
So you're at ATT now. Do you still go over and train with TJ Dillashaw and Dwayne Ludwig?
So right now, I even my last opponent called me a gym hopper, which is very ironic because the next gym I hopped to was his gym. I'd like to get different looks. I've been to Jackson Wink. I've been to San Diego Combat Academy in California. I've been to the training lab in Orange County, California, Anaheim. I've been to, Dwayne Ludwig's and Muscle Farm in Colorado. Like I travel and train so many times, and my home gym is in Chicago. So, for me, I love TJ. TJ's helped me out so much, and that's something I, want to go back to is training with him. But I know he just had a newborn, which congratulations to TJ. So he's going to be a little bit busy as a father, and he's taking care of that. And two, he doesn't have a fight plan. So every time he's not training, everyone kind of disperses. But when he's in the gym, everyone shows up. So it's like, oh, well, he's not training. I've done camps where he's not training before, and I don't know where I'm training against, 55-pounders. So I'm like, all right, I can't do this. So I talked to TJ. He said it was cool. Train at a different gym, just stay ready. We'll see what's next. So, I'm doing this camp here at ATT, and the first week was amazing. It actually was an experience like no other. So I'm just excited to see, how this camp fully develops. And man, I've been training with some ridiculous guys. I can't remember all of their last names, but I know like Pedro's fighting. I believe he's fighting John Dotson, and I'm getting him ready for Dotson. He's a 35-pounder. I'm helping former bantamweight champion Henan Barao. I've been sparring with him. Jusir Formiga, helping him get ready for his fight, and just a bunch of other guys. The ONE FC flyweight champion, which is just really, really fun to go with. I mean, these guys are just all talented guys. Chad George, which is the combat EBI champion. I think it's just amazing to be able to go with these caliber guys all in the same house.
Yeah, I wouldn't call you a camp jumper. I mean, you're not hanging your hat at a camp like most of these guys do and then just up and leave. You're just getting different looks. What is so special with Dwayne Ludwig? I know everybody talks about like how special of a coach he is. What makes him as amazing of a coach as he is? Because I mean, the guy's a genius.
Oh, he's definitely a genius, and it's one of those things that I'm still 100% trying to implement his style in my game, no matter where I train. I went to him the first time in Colorado to help TJ first fight, and then I went down to Jackson Wink just to, move around, just, stay fresh in a camp, and I was like, man, this is nothing like Dwayne's class. Like, these coaches are great, but Dwayne's just, at least in my perspective, at a whole nother level, at least for me, So he's realistic, but he's loving and caring, man. He helped me out a lot, for my fights, helping TJ and all that stuff, and really just coaching me. He wasn't just coaching TJ while we sparred. He was coaching me as well, going, hey, man, you should do this more, you should do this next, and then see where it goes. And everything he has told me, I mean, he is honestly one of the best stand-up coaches I've ever had. His style is super confusing at first. I never felt like so much of a white belt going back into it. But his style is just incredible because it's a flow, and it's not implementing his style. It's, characterizing your style and creating it just like a nice combination together. So, again, you have fighters like Matt Brown. Matt Brown is a big, Muay Thai style fighter. He's not a TJ Dillashaw where he switches stances, moving different, directions, all that stuff. But he started to implement that against Cowboy Cerrone, and look how well he did against him. Yeah, he got knocked out, but those things happen. So it's, Dwayne Ludwig, he's a fantastic coach, and I have nothing but love and respect for that guy.
I see a lot of TJ Dillashaw in you with your movement when you're in there. I see a lot of it. It's crazy. It's almost like mirror image. It's really cool. I noticed it in your fight where you won your second belt. Like a lot of your movement was just like I was watching TJ Dillashaw fight. You're fast, but you're compact too. I definitely wouldn't want to get hit by you or get thrown by you. Your slams are unbelievable.
It was funny. I threw a guy today, and that was like the only highlight of my day. I got beat up the whole rest of the day for wrestling, and I got one throw in. I'm like, yeah, that's it. I quit. I'm done. Just walked away. But it's really cool, man. TJ has definitely helped me out a lot, and from being just in a sense, a sparring partner to being his friend. He has helped me out a lot with just not stuff involving MMA in in the practice room, but outside, working on sponsors, working on marketing, working on finding people that can help me, later on in my life. So it's, TJ, Dwayne Logan, all those guys in Colorado and all those guys at Training Live. I mean, I owe them a lot, and they've done so much for me. It's incredible to see how fast I've improved in the 2 years that I've been professional. So I'm just excited to, again, see what's next. And I believe the next level of UFC is just, I'm hoping for a contract. I'm not a last-minute fight type of fighter. It's just, with the accolades that I have, I feel that I could be able to make some type of responsible decisions and, swallow my pride a little bit and go, hey, man, let's market a fight instead of, okay, hey, one last, a week up and, have it be a Mark De La Rosa, Tim Elliott fight out of nowhere, even though Tim Elliott was supposed to be, I believe, on the UFC fight, the regular prelims on Fox. He got dropped down the UFC Fight Pass. It's like no one wants to see that there. Everyone wants to see that on Fox or even on the main card. So, I don't want to be that type of fighter. I want to be fighting some guy if it's going to be worth it. Let's do it on Fox. Let's do it on a pay-per-view. Let's do it on the big screen.
Yeah, you're definitely better than having to go on the Contender. Like we have CFFC heavyweight Sean Keed on, and he was talking to me about maybe if he doesn't get the call after he wins the belt, go on to the Contender. Like the thing with the Contender with me is it's not a guarantee. You could go out there, put on a dominant performance, and then you could have some guy that head kicks somebody in 15 seconds. Now he gets the contract, and you don't. That's the only thing about the Contender that I don't like.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's a really, really entertaining show, but you're right. It's not a guarantee, and that's something I was talking to Titan about. I was like, hey, guys, I'd love to do the show. I think it's just fun to fight in front of Dana, but why put so much pressure on myself if it's not even guaranteed that if I win, I'm going to call up, and then if I lose in front of Dana. That's kind of like a lose-lose there, so it's one of those things that, for example, Ricky Simone was a Titan FC contender, almost won the belt, and he went in there, dominated his fight, he won, and then they go, nah, we want someone else, and then he wins the LFA belt. He is a big, big contender, but they still denied him as well. So it's like, I'd rather just hopefully do it my own way and see where it takes it from here. I'm 25 years old, so I definitely have a lot of time to see where everything goes.
All right, so let's talk about the future here. So your fight in February. Tell us about your opponent. I have no clue.
I am not 100%. I have no clue anything about him. From what they told me is he's a scrappy Colombian, has some good jiu-jitsu, and that's it. I know nothing about him. I believe he's 5-2 on a 2-fight winning streak. I was just like, yeah, sure, whatever. If this is just me. I believe in the ranking system, and every single guy that I beat so far has been either the champion or the number one contender. Everyone else now is number 2, number 3, number 4, or guys that are number 2, number 3, number 4 don't even want to fight me because I did have some guys back. And it's like, okay, well, we got to find someone out of the promotion. And so far it was Alberto that was brave enough to take the fight. And I commend him a lot because this is a huge opportunity for him. Will he be a huge underdog? Probably. But that doesn't take him away anywhere out of the fight. I don't know who I'm fighting. I honestly don't care who I'm fighting. Again, I believe in the ranking system, and the Titan FC believes he's next. And I got to be the dominant champion that I think I am and beat another guy coming up from my belt.
Well, man, if you believe in the ranking system, UFC might not be the place for you, brother.
Yeah, well, hopefully at least, it 100% sounds hypocritical if I believe in the ranking system, but I'm gonna be that guy that gets like my UFC debut against some random guy, win, and out of nowhere I'm fighting the number 5 guy. It's like, yeah, all right. Like, I would love that, but as a champion, it's like you gotta go down the list. If these guys deny you, then hey, so be it. Then you got to skip the number and keep on going down. But you got to go down the list. It's just everything is becoming a lot more political when it comes to boxing. Let's fight the more popular guy because it's gonna bring more pay-per-view money and more pay-per-view buys, and people want to see this more. It's like, hey, that's great, but that's not what the sport's all about. It's about the ranking system because people have worked their way up to make it this far. We'll give them that respect to do so, and that's where I believe I'm lacking right now is. People aren't, at least you'll see in their ways, haven't respected what I've been able to accomplish. Yeah, they've given me last-minute fights, but again, I believe the fans want to see me fight in the UFC against some really top guys. I don't care who I fight. I've trained with most of them. I'm just ready for that next level, and I'm ready for a contract.
So what weight would you be wanting to go into the UFC at if you get the call?
As much as I love 35 because it's so much easier to make, and I just get to indulge and just have fun and not worry about a weight cut in a sense. Dropping down to 35, I can just 100% worry about the fight. 25, man. 25 is just the weight class for me. I'm a small guy. I'm 5'4". Most of the guys I fight, even at 25, are taller than me. So I believe it's just a smart thing for me to do to fight at 25 plus. Out of my 6 professional fights, 2 have been at flyweight, and my 2 knockouts have been at flyweight. So I don't believe these smaller guys can take my power, and that's something I want to show when I get to the UFC.
Come on, bro. Tell us the truth. You want DJ. You want to break that record. Come on, tell us.
I don't care who they put in front of me. I said they can put, the low. They can put the newbie. They can put Tim Elliott, that's right in the middle, or they can give me, Demetrius Johnson. I don't care who they put in front of me. I'm just ready to put on a show.
Yeah, that is a wide open division, especially for anybody new that's coming in there.
Yeah.
Even if you think about it, there's some really good fights that people can make. It's just you have such a dominant champion, Demetrius Johnson. No one cares about anyone in that weight class. It's like when Anderson Silva was so dominant, he beat Vitor, he beat all these guys. He made him look like nothing. So they're like, okay, Anderson Silva, you have to bump up. That's it. Bump up to fight John Jones. So. That's just the Demetrius Johnson case right now. Flyweight division has some exciting fights, but it's just, Johnson's such a okay, we don't want to see him fight anyone else. We want to see him fight TJ because, well, that's the harder matchup. That's someone he hasn't fought yet.
Chris, Omar, you guys got anything?
Yeah, no, and I feel like what you said before about Tim Elliott, I feel like Tim Elliott would make the most sense for your first fight based on the storyline. Wasn't he the champion before you were the champion? And then he left for the Ultimate Fighter show.
Which is also funny. Small story was he just won the Ultimate Fighter, but it wasn't announced. And I needed a training camp. It was literally like a last minute, month training camp. And I flew out to Colorado. Little I know, Joseph Benavidez was like, dude, you're gonna stay with Tim Elliott. I go, I just won the belt. Like, I'm technically the interim champ right now because the announcement hasn't been made that he won and that he's going to be in the UFC. So him and I are sitting at the house together. We're alone for 2 weeks, all that stuff. We go hiking, and I'm messing around on Snapchat and Instagram story, and I'm just like, I know how I can be the undisputed champ. All I got to do is just push him off the cliff, and that's it. I'm the champ. It's all over. But Tim Elliott, him and I even talked about it. We've trained together, and Tim Elliott's big. He's strong as hell, and he's so awkward. I mean, he doesn't even know what he's going to do next, you know. So I think that's just such a fan entertaining fight. You have two-time FC champions who would have been, you know, you could see who would have been the undisputed champ, and I think it's two entertaining fighters. I mean, you even look at Tim Elliott in his early career, even the fights that he lost against John Dodson and all these guys, he makes fights exciting, you know. So win or lose, I think that's an awesome, awesome fight to make.
Dodson's awkward for anybody. You know, he's one of those that's just really, really awkward because he's so damn fast. He's so fast.
I've sparred with Dodson a good number of times. He's actually one of my favorite guys to spar with because he is so fast. Like, with him, I have no choice but to move to the side, but because he explodes so fast out of nowhere, you never expect it. It kind of forces you to move back, and you get punched with his left hand. You're like, oh my God! And he hits, dude. He throws bricks. Like he just has naturally heavy hands. He is a hard hitter, and that's one guy that I thought he was going to be Marlon Moraes, but you know, so be it. It didn't happen. But he is such a dominant fighter. I'm surprised he hasn't dominated a little more at the bantamweight division.
Omar, you're up.
I always like to ask, just kind of going a little off topic, if say for some reason, you know, God forfend, but the fighting wasn't on the table, what do you picture yourself? What would you have been doing at 25?
Man, at 25, I have no clue. Actually, I wanted to be a gym teacher, but that never happened. I did graduate with, you know, sports science and leadership and all that stuff, but I don't know. I think right now, let's say I broke my hand and the doctor said I can never fight again. I think right now I try to, you know, try my best to either open up my own gym or partner with somebody that has a gym and just try to teach. You know, I've been in a neighborhood that if it weren't for people helping me and, you know, really taking me under their wing, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I always try to give back as much as possible. So I definitely would like to coach.
Awesome.
So when you do get the call, because we know you're going to get the call, are you going to stay with one camp, or are you going to keep kind of moving around, getting a different flavor from everywhere?
Whoa, that's you know, that's a little hard right now, because I can definitely tell you this: when I first started at some of these camps, no one knew me, no one cared about me, and then the more successful I started to become in my career, the more people wanted to work with me, and more people wanted to call me back and go, hey man, no, yeah, come on to the camp. Sorry, I was busy, all that stuff. So it's like, you know, now people are trying to feed off my hype, which is, hey, I understand that it's part of the business, but you know, I'm trying to look for people that are loyal and that are respectful and don't want to just help me because I have money or because or soon to have money, hopefully, or that I have 2 belts or whatever the case may be, or I have all this hype. You know, I want people who are actually just genuine and trying to help me out because I'm just another average Joe trying to make a living. So, you know, I'm figuring it out right now. The first week here at ATT was pretty gruesome in a great way, and I say that respectfully because it was just, yeah, I mean, the first week in training camp really always sucks just because your body's not used to it, you're not ready for it, and the guys here are just at a whole different level. But man, I've been to plenty gyms, and there's really good gyms to choose from. So that's something I have to sit down with my team back in Chicago and just, you know, see what I want to do next.
Well, Shorty, we are joined by another one of our hosts who comes on whenever he can. Kareem, you're on with the champ. You got any questions for him?
Yeah, it's good to have you on the show. Appreciate you taking the time. I was just wondering, though, when you travel around, you're picking your spots, different gyms to train at, getting your looks, picking up some new things. Is it any heavier than it might be if you weren't a 2-division champ? You know, anybody give you any looks like you might be somebody to beat or somebody, you know, for lack of a better term, to try and steal on in a sparring session or in a rolling session?
You know, I can definitely tell you this. At least when I go into sparring, I'm very egoless. You know, I try not to, you know, take any ego to practice. Like, I know what I can do against some of the best, and I know sometimes I can land, you know, a better shot or a harder shot against some of these guys. But, like, I've sparred with Dodson, you know, TJ, Sergio Pettis, Brandon Moreno, Eric Sheldon. I mean, so many guys at both weight classes that more than likely I might fight one day. But, I mean, it's just, I always like to say this: we're all after the same goal. It just so happens we're on each other's way. You know, I don't care. I mean, TJ and I have been sparring recklessly, and when I say recklessly, I mean he 100% tries to knock me out. he is an animal in sparring. He goes almost 100%. He's just trying to be the best that he can be, and so be it. But for me, I never go like, oh, you hit me with a good shot. All right, my turn. I'm going to hit you really, really hard. I hit you as hard as you hit me. So, I try to be as respectful as possible and know that, in a sense, it's not my house 100%. Yeah, I treat
That's
everyone
awesome, man.
that are helping me, the same.
It's amazing how calm and nice you are here in the interview, and then when that cage door closes, you turn into a completely different human being.
It was crazy because, like, for example, my pro debut, dude, I was terrified. And the only reason I was terrified, like, everything was going well. I wasn't believing the hype. Everyone's like, oh, man, I was doing, like, 50 interviews for the fight. They're like, oh, you're this, you're that, you're the hype train, blah, blah. I was like, I was just doing stuff my coach told me to do. I thought this was stuff everyone did. Oh, okay, cool. I guess I'm, like, creating history. I didn't know this. And one of the matchmakers or former matchmakers, Titan, was like, Shorty, just remember this. You only make your pro debut once, so don't mess it up. I was like, oh, well, thanks for the pressure. Like, thanks, man. So that whole fight week, dude, that whole fight week, that quote messed me up. Like, it completely just, it really just messed up my mind. I didn't know what to do. So my coach was like, oh, Shorty, let's go for a walk. I'm like, no, leave me alone in my room. I just want to be here. Like, I want to be alone. And I wasn't my usual self, my usual playful self, and just enjoying the challenge. And I don't know, like you said, when I get into the cage, for some reason, a smile's on my face, and then when I walk in, like, everything just goes blank. And it's 100% autopilot. Like, when I fought Gleason, even my last fight, I'm never, like, I've been caught a couple times. I've taken some shots. I've been bleeding. I've been cut, calf kicks, whatever the case may be. I'm just kind of like, I see it coming. I don't know. It's an autopilot thing that I know many fighters have, but I've never felt that I've been in danger. Even though I've been in some bad situations, I've never been like, oh my God, panic. Oh my God, this is really bad. I'm just kind of like, we'll see how it goes. So I think that's something that puts me a little different, a little ahead of the competition, that I can stay calm in many, many really, really bad situations. And I like awkward moments, so I like to see where a lot of things go. Improv is my thing.
Well, I got to ask you this. You won your second belt, and I keep forgetting the guy's name. He hit with, like that, what was that, a left hook when you fell?
Yeah.
How the hell did you get out of the way of that illegal knee?
What's funny is people tell me that, and, I didn't know what hit me. So, looking back at the film, it was just like a vicious left hook. I mean, he just swung it from hell. Like, he reached all the way down, and it came up. And when I got dropped, I didn't know I got dropped. So all I remember was looking down, going, did I slip? Did we headbutt? And I'm like slowly bringing my head up. I'm like, oh my God, knee, duck. And so I remember just like moving out of the way. And then, the commentators, I hear the commentators like, oh my God, that would have been really, really bad. And then I got stuck in the guillotine choke, and I was actually really hoping for that. Not to get stuck in it, but that he was going to try to attempt it so he could put himself to his back and I could just relax a little bit, instead of getting up and wobbling all over the place and him trying to throw haymakers. So I was hoping I'd leave my head out there and he'd go for the guillotine, but it ended up being a lot tighter than I expected. And, I stood calm and knew what I had to do and keep him on his back so he could get that leverage to really crank on it. And, eventually he tired out his arms, and that's actually one of the biggest things that won me that fight.
You were purple. You were purple.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
I've been choked plenty of times in practice, so I know when I'm going out. And this one, I was kind of like, it sucks, but hey, man, stay calm, breathe, put the pressure on where it needs to be, and that's it. Just listen to my coach in the corner, and my coach even knew that I was fine. I don't know how he knew, but Master Bob Sherman, that's a guy who's been training me since I was 16 at Combat Dome in Chicago. I mean, him and I are so in sync, it's ridiculous, So, man, it was a cool moment. I like being put in these bad situations so I can have that story later on to say, hey, man, I got out of this. I've been through this stuff, instead of people saying, oh, well, you never broke a hand in a fight. It's like, yeah, no, I've broken a hand in a fight in the first round, in a 5-round fight. And I tore my MCL at the same time, and I was able to push forward and win a fight, So I want to be able to have people look at my story, look at my fights, and go, man, there's no excuses in this. This guy still pushed forward and still did his thing to win.
Zero excuses. I mean, I knew you
Dude,
broke your hand. I didn't know you tore your knee too. Jesus.
Dude, I've been through it. I've been through everything. I've had a cut on my top of the head. I've had cut over my eyes, under my eyes, broken hand, torn ligaments. I'm trying to think, calf kicks where I can't even walk. You know, I mean, it's been really bad. But hey, you know, it's a story to say that I've already felt it, and you know, if it happens again, I know how to, you know, hopefully overcome it. You know, the next time that hopefully it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, at least I know how to react to it.
Omar, Kareem, you guys got anything else for the champ?
I would just like to say it's
amazed.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome to hear somebody that's this skilled and decorated actually does the same thing I do when I do jiu-jitsu. I would rather leave myself in danger of one thing to avoid another than always worry about, like, necessarily what technical direction to go in. Sometimes, like, sticking your neck out there is literally the best option you have for stuff. And I don't feel so bad. Like, I'm not the only guy that does it, and he's way better than me, so that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the biggest things for me is, like, my jiu-jitsu game, I believe, as well, I'm definitely better on top because I'm a wrestler instead on my back. But one of my biggest things I've always had a problem with since I first started was I'm horrible at getting out of guard. I will just stay in guard and just punch the crap out of someone until they let go. But I sometimes will leave my arm out there. I leave my head extended out or head my head down so people can go for omoplatas, gogo-platas, triangles, arm bars, so I can create that sense of scramble. And then I know most of the time I can get out of the scramble if I can caught that, you know, submission. All right, well, cool. At least I'm out of the lock. Now I need to work out of this. And once I get out of this, usually it's going to be a better situation for me. So it's, you know, even in practice now, I mean, today we're doing wrestling in a sense a little more grappling where you take them down, then you can go for jiu-jitsu. But, you know, I was tapped out maybe 4 or 5 times. Like, I'm not prideful with that. Like, I like to be, you know, the second guy in command, if you want to say, in the practice, because if I'm the alpha male everywhere I go, if I'm better than every single guy, then I'm not getting better. It's like I need to be the number 2 everywhere I go because I need to get beat up. It's going to keep me humble. It's going to teach me a bunch of things that I still need to work on. And, I mean, even in some of the jiu-jitsu days, dude, I got wrecked. And I was like, okay, got to make a checklist, and I'm done after practice, and, you know, hopefully it doesn't happen again the next time. So it's it helps me and gets me mentally prepared for the big situation.
See, Kareem?
Yep.
Now, this part makes me feel better. This makes me feel better because I struggle getting out of people's guard. I hate being in somebody's guard.
Well, it's so funny because, like, you know, I'll make some guest appearances sometimes at gyms, and you'll have some, like, lower-level guys tap me out, and I don't mind it. Like, either sometimes I do kind of let them to get in position and just, you know, give them a confidence boost, or some guys are just legit. They expected more out of me. I was like, dude, no, you're legit. Like, I'm just good under the lights, you know. So
he's a gamer. Exactly.
You know, again, I'm a gamer. You know, I'm good in the situation. So again, I'm not prideful when I go in there. I'm not, you know, arrogant. Yeah, I take a lot of shots. That's just my fighting style. It's how I play. But I like to put on a show. And if you know, a stand-up battle makes it entertaining, so be it. If it goes on the ground, then so be it. I got to figure out a way to bring it back up to make it that much more entertaining. But yeah, man, I swallow my ego everywhere I go, and I just have a lot of fun. So if you guys get beat up, just know I definitely get beat up too, and so does everyone. So it's part of the sport, and you got to get beat up to be the best.
Not everyone has 2 belts, though.
Not yet. I mean, hey, man, everyone can do something. Hey, I can definitely say this. I never expected to be a 2-time world champ as an amateur, and I definitely never expected to be a 2-division, you know, weight class champion as a professional. That wasn't any part of my future. I was just kind of like, oh, this fight, yeah, sure, okay, we'll see how it goes. You know, so I'm just kind of, you know, going forward and seeing where the world takes me.
Well, brother, I mean, we just want to thank you so much for coming on today, and
this was an
you
amazing
have fans
interview.
for life with us. You have fans for life with us. We'll definitely be watching you on February 16th. So this is the point of the show where we give you the floor. Shout out your sponsors, everybody that you want to shout out, man.
Oh, well, I definitely have too many sponsors. My sponsors definitely know who they are, and I really appreciate all the support. But family, friends, thank you so much. Again, you know, I always say, please, guys, if I can be the best in the world, if no one supports me, if no one follows me, then, I mean, I'm honestly pointless. So please follow me on Instagram. Jose Shorty Torres, Facebook Jose Shorty Torres with quotations around Shorty, Twitter Shorty Torres 125, and please support the team. Actually, 20% of my sales go to the kids in my gym so they can travel and compete. TeamShorty.com. I appreciate it, everyone, and let's make a great 2018 and see where the world takes us.
Well, Shorty, thank you again, and we are looking forward to you after you successfully defend your belt and when you get signed to the UFC.
Champ.
I appreciate that. And again, TeamShorty.com, and that's why I always do say, we can, we will, together we are Team Shorty. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Thank
All right,
you.
Shorty, good night, man.
Good night. Bye.
Wow, what a great interview, guys.
Bro, I'm impressed. with
Amazing.
him, man.
You guys killed it.
He killed it.
You talk about a kid who's 25 years old and already has the mindset that he has inside the cage. As long as he stays healthy, man, his career is going to be so big.
Yeah,
He's great on the mic, too, though.
Star.
That's what I was
right
most
there.
impressed, right?
You know? Very
Commentating.
impressive. 25-year-old handled himself. You know, he ran the interview. He was fucking golden.
Yeah. He didn't fall into any traps, although Tommy didn't try to set as many. But even some of them, he was like, nah. He's like, nah, I won't name names.
He named names without naming names. He named
right,
names
exactly.
Without, he said he'll fight anybody, and he did name a couple guys that he would fight.
Yeah.
But I think the Tim Elliott thing makes the most sense because it's somewhere middle of the pack, which is where he belongs. You know, Gaethje came in, he got a top five fight right away, correct?
Who, Gaethje?
He was,
When
he was
do you count
undefeated.
Michael Johnson as a top 5?
At that point,
Whoa.
wasn't he? I mean,
Whoa, he was. Yeah, come on.
I think
hey.
he was ranked 5th.
Jesus. Salty today, Tommy. Good guy.
He went from 5th to 9th in a fight.
Could
Well,
happen.
he's not even in the division anymore. But yeah, I guess.
Could happen.
Gaethje was ranked 5th, over Johnson.
Either way, I'm just saying I believe that he doesn't deserve an unranked fighter. I think that he's in a position where he kind of does hold the cards, so to speak. He's right about not wanting to fight in the Contender Series and take a short notice fight because he's a champion of
that's
organization that's fed the UFC for fucking years.
And even for him, if he did get to go on to the Ultimate Fighter champion, like, even that's still not for him because that's almost like that's the kind of stuff that's not fair. You know what I mean? These guys are fighting every other week and stuff like that.
It puts a different spin on it. That's not like a normal way to win a fight. Like you have to adjust and adapt. It's a different fight camp. It's a whole other experience. Weight cutting is different, and they're not. Until you do it, you don't have the experience in doing it, and it's not easy. Living in a house, fuck that. I wouldn't want to do that.
And that's
either.
not a knock on Eddie and Amanda, who went on there and did what they did. I mean, they both fought in the UFC after, but you're talking about a guy who's a reigning 2-division champ, defended both belts. You don't just call him last minute. You bring him in the right way. You bring him in the way you bring other people in, not just a last-minute fight.
They're trying to bring him in the
for
lose.
a guy that he's not
I didn't want to say it, but doesn't it seem like it? Like you're trying to bring him in to get done up. The fuck is that?
I mean, like I made the comment before about you should have blocked them back. Like he was actually blocked by Mick Maynard, the matchmaker for the UFC. Blocked on social media because he was hounding him so much for a UFC call. And then they finally called him, but it was in a bad situation for him. So he was smart to, turn these things down, get healthy. Because it's a big opportunity and you really don't want to blow it. And, the Contender Series, he made the point, you don't even guarantee yourself to get in if you win.
No, that's what I was saying. Is like they got to restructure that. Maybe give out more than one contract. Because it's just like what I had said to him. You can knock somebody out in 15 seconds after you had just a 3-round war. I mean, you just, you and the guy that you were fighting, you guys could have been Fight of the Year candidate. And they could go and give it to the guy who knocked the guy out in 15 seconds. Like, It's just it's too iffy. It's too iffy. I hated the fact that Carl Robertson had to go through it because the guy's a decorated kickboxer, and that's how he got signed. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I really hope Shorty doesn't have to take that route because he's good enough. He doesn't have to.
Yeah, I think that with a win, he should be favored. It's not that he's going to overlook this guy. I'm sure he's smarter than that because he knows what's at stake. You know, of being upset would probably cost him big with the UFC. So I feel like if he wins, he's in. So we could feasibly. He was saying that he wanted to fight on the March 3rd card. Like, what?
Yeah. And he's going to fight in February, a title defense in February, against an opponent who doesn't fight for Titan FC. They're bringing this guy in to fight him.
Because nobody wants to fight him. He wanted to, that was like, I'm going to throw that in there. A lot of guys don't want to fight me, and it's the truth. It's like, you want to be humble, but at the same time, there's things that are just facts, and I doubt that these guys want to fight him the 3rd, 4th, because they know, look, he's probably on his way out anyway, so when he goes, then maybe I'll have an easier road to the belt.
Yeah, because he's
UFC bound. There's no question about that.
Yeah. I mean, if our listeners haven't seen any of his fights, go on Fight Pass, because Titan FC is on Fight Pass, and just watch this kid's fights. He's just, like I said to him, he reminds me a lot of TJ Dillashaw. A lot. His movement, everything reminds me a lot.
You watch him shadow box on some of these videos, and they cut promos with him, and man, he's fast, dangerous in a lot of places.
Judo throws.
Wrestler.
His judo throws are amazing. I can't wait to see what is in store for his career. And hopefully the UFC calls him up soon.
It's going to have to happen. It's a division that needs it. Right? Yeah, right, Tommy? They need people. For fuck's sake.
They need new blood.
He looks like a legitimate threat for the crown at one point. Like, there's no other way of saying it. He's definitely, I think he's number 1 ranked prospect outside the UFC, number 6, and that's in the U.S., number 6 internationally. Like, that's impressive, man. This guy needs his opportunity.
And he's not even sniffing his prime yet. He's not even close to his prime yet.
You made that sound really
And
dirty.
then he even mentioned it, too. His background is extensive. He's had over other, you compete. You're a wrestler. You're a boxer. He's kickboxer. He's fought 100 times. So 6-0 is misleading. Look at his amateur record on Topology. I think he was like 13-0 there as well.
Yeah, no, he's an animal. And I think it's good that he trains at different places. I don't consider that like a camp jumper.
Here's the thing, man. What I think is good is that he listen to him. He knows what he's doing. He knows what's right for himself. You got to do what works for yourself, man. If he finds a place that he's comfortable at, I'm sure he'll stay. But why worry about what other people think?
Well, no, but it was just going to his point that he just likes a lot of different looks, and you know what? Maybe more guys should do that. More guys should do that. I don't think there's anything wrong
when you
with
talk
that.
about when we've talked about the Dillashaw situation before, and I feel like TJ Dillashaw got made out to be the bad guy by Alpha Male, but really all the points that he was making were spot on, and that's why I was hoping he would win, just to kind of put that thing to rest.
Yeah, when I kind of kept hearing more about what was going on, it was kind of like Uriah being the broken ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, sour grapes, jealous.
Because TJ was going to get paid to go train at this other school, or train at this other camp.
And Ludwig is a legit fucking head coach, man. He was the man. Alpha Male should never even let him go. Should have given him what he wanted.
Well, I think Ludwig wanted to be out on his own anyway, because listening to a lot of things that Ludwig says, him and Uriah never got along, never saw eye to eye. because I think on Rogan's podcast, Rogan asked him who's the hardest, like the most difficult person to work with, and he said Uriah. He goes, because no matter what I told him, Uriah wanted to do the complete opposite inside the cage. So I just think it was just a completely total kind of messed up situation where, you know, I don't think TJ's as bad as everybody made him seem. I think Connor stirred that a little bit more than it needed to be.
No.
Well, you can't blame Connor.
If that's your homie and that's your boy, like the one that put you on, that got you right, you don't do what TJ did. Not without, like, you know, like Uriah said, he asked him. Like, more than a few guys asked him, but forget those guys. When your homies ask you, like, yo, what's going on? Like, you training over there now? Like, what are you doing? Like, you don't know, man. No. Like,
all right. Either way, but what if he said yes? What if he said yes? They would have kicked him off the team? He did say yes.
Then it's out in the open. You know what I'm saying? Like, you came right outside. Like, yeah, man, I'm probably moving over there because that's better for me. You know?
I think that TJ is entitled to do what the fuck he pleases, based on.
No, like, for sure, 100%. Like, don't not make a move to better yourself as a fighter in your career because of somebody else. I'm just saying, like, as a friend, like what you said, like how close you guys were, and if he asks you, like, yo, is this what you're doing? Are you going that way? Then yeah, like Uriah is also responsible for stable guys over here, so you can't have somebody that's in the same weight class as a couple of guys in your gym saying, like, yo, I'm over here now, but I'm going to still be coming over here and, like, you know, picking up stuff. That's not fair to those guys. So when you say no and you continue to, like, back and forth, but then you're repping that squad over there.
Why is it okay for, like, Benavidez to train there? Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Why was it so? It was because Dillashaw had a belt, and I think that's the only real reason why Uriah was so salty about it.
I think it was because he asked him directly, and man, like the first thing was like, nah.
I think it was because of the media. I think Uriah was out of line going public about it before to begin with.
I would say that was wrong too.
Saying I asked TJ, you know, Uriah made it a thing, and it put TJ in a bad spot because he might have had these plans but wasn't ready to reveal them, and then Uriah started talking about it to the media, and I think that's where TJ's gripe comes in. It's like, dude, you know, you made me look like a snake because you asked me too soon. You know, like I was thinking about it, but I wasn't sure, and now it's out there in the media. So now when I do come out with it, it's going to make me look like I lied, which is very feasible. That sounds like that's what happened. I think Uriah should have kept it quiet and not be so worried about it.
I mean, yeah, like I can also say that wasn't a way to go about it. Uriah couldn't, the same way he asked him directly if he felt some type of way about it, it could have been a second conversation rather than going out to the public and airing, you know, family dirty laundry, for sure.
But I think, like Chris said, if TJ didn't have the belt, I don't think Uriah really would have cared. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think he would have cared as much. That belt kind of made alpha male, you know, stand up on top. Like, look at this group that we have. We have Dwayne as the head coach, and, you know, Uriah, who's okay, he was a legend in his own right in the WEC. He never won a belt in the UFC. You know, and you got Cody coming up at the same time. Like, you have a stable of good guys. Now this happens. TJ leaves. Dwayne leaves. You know, your one of your best coaches leaves. Now you're left holding the bag. And Uriah has his finger in 8,000 different things. I'm sure the gym wasn't one of the things that he was going to want to constantly have to worry about when he had a guy like Dwayne there running the ship, which, yeah, I know you guys remember when he was there, that ship was running pretty goddamn tight. Don't you think, Chris?
Yeah, I said it. You know, they fucked up.
What do you think, Omar?
I think that when you have somebody who has a way of doing things and has had a lot of success with it, you're going to have a situation where it's going to be very, very difficult to change culture sufficiently to progress. So I think it was a victim of their own success. Team Alpha Male had done a lot. They kind of did the whole bootstrapping. He basically bootstrapped an entire, startup because he brought in a bunch of guys that did the whole house thing. It was very tightly knit. And what he brought in is what he thought was...
very bro of Uriah.
Yeah, I mean, it was. It really was. And I think that's what he went for. You got that California kind of vibe to it. It's like, oh, we're all going to chill and fucking have good vibes. And
a little compound.
Exactly. It was like a fight commune.
All contribute something.
Yeah, and then he brought in a piece that he thought was going to bring the entire recipe to that next level, to that Michelin star, gourmet level. And that piece ends up plucking away one of his most promising people that he brought up for many years, and they go win a belt somewhere else. Understandable. Completely understandable. However, on the flip side, everybody's a person. Everybody's a man. I'm not a fucking baby. I'm a man. Everybody should be able to make their decisions based on what they think is going to be best for them. You know what I mean? Even at my gyms, and it's not at the same level. But if somebody decides, hey, you know what? I want to go train BJJ somewhere else. Well, you're a fuckboy. All right. But go do your own thing. It's God bless you. I'm not going to then go out on social media and blast them out. But, the stakes aren't that high at the same time. I don't know. I wouldn't have done it, but that's just me. I wouldn't.
While you were talking, Litton Vassal had just sent us a follow on Instagram, and then as soon as I shut it off, Demi Lovato's picture was on there. Chris, why did you follow her on our Instagram?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Why, Chris?
She's a blue belt. And it might not even have been me. You have to keep in mind that my brother also has, had a very big impact in the early days of the
I'm like, why is Demi Lovato?
Bro, I went through the Instagram and unfollowed 1,000 people because it was just
I might have to do some cleansing myself.
But Demi Lovato is
she's legit. She's part of the fight game.
She's kind of perfect, bro. What's wrong with Demi Lovato? She takes jiu-jitsu.
I don't know about perfect. I don't know about that, but Jesus.
Well.
Yeah.
Not.
She prefers a mug, when you ask her what her favorite dish is. So, but anyway.
Oh wow.
Kareem, are you still there?
I don't give a fuck.
I think he pulled the ripcord. He's like, yo, I'm done.
I've already dated.
Well, I heard him yelling at his kids in the background.
His kids were gonna catch them hands, but don't call CPS because it's still okay to do that. That's fine. Yeah. It's perfectly okay. Beat your kids.
We're about to hit the after dark hours.
Well, I got a little bit of news for one of our former guests, my teammate and buddy. This weekend, January 13th, for Rise Invitational 3, Mike Elshamy is going up against Chris Cope.
Oh, shit.
You guys remember what Rise is? The grappling super fight that Eddie Gordon did, Aljamain did.
Diana.
So, yeah, that's going on in New York this weekend. I'm excited to watch that. So that could be two Sarah BJJ guys that beat Chris Cope in the same organization. Omar, will you be watching?
You're a fucking animal, Tommy. Sometimes I just it's all Christian. It's all nice until that last part. I'm like, that dickhead. I'm gonna be rooting for our boy here, but just the way you delivered it, it was tremendous. Of course, absolutely. I mean, you know what? With the way that the UFC kind of is doing its thing this weekend, I might be more excited for the grappling matches. I'll tell you that right now. This is one of those weird weekends. I'd watch it anyway. I'd watch both anyway, and I'm gonna watch both anyway. I don't want to front and try to be some weird snob, but it's a good weekend to have it. You'll get some eyeballs. I'm glad.
Well, hopefully the Shammy's matches on when Jeremy Stevens and Doohoo Choi start to fight. You feel better about shutting it off then.
Jesus Christ. Just terrible. Such a bad set
I'm
of
just
fights.
full of backhanded comments tonight.
You're on fire. Like, oh, it'll be 2 Sarah BJ guys that'll fuck up Chris. Like, what? Like, hold on. You lull us to sleep, and then suddenly you're like, oh, he's still dropping bombs. Fuck. I love it.
You know what? I'm really feeling good after that interview. I'm still shocked at how good he is during an interview at 25.
You can put him in as like a third person on a commentary team right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Bellator is awesome.
For sure.
That's all I'm gonna say. And tell me he speaks Spanish. If that happens, he Verdum's seat is still not filled on the UFC Spanish broadcast after he fucked himself out of a pretty sweet gig. And let me just say as a sidebar, he spoke better Spanish than the 2 native Spanish speakers on that fucking thing, and he's Brazilian. All right, so if anybody deserves that spot back, it's him. But if it's not there, and Jose does speak the native tongue, get him, put him in. Christ. And we all know Kane
All
doesn't.
right, guys. Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to wrap this up. So, this weekend, February 13th, Rise Invitational. Watch Mike El-Shami against Chris Cope. February 16th, watch our boy Shorty defend his bantamweight belt against the guy that nobody knows, the champ. He is a 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu guy out of Colombia. I didn't even know there was 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu out there, but there is. So
look into it, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Just look into it.
So that's February 16th. Next week, I don't think that we have a guest lined up, but that's okay because we will have the UFC event to talk about. Hopefully there's some more news this week. So, guys, this was a really fun show. For 80K Fightwear, Black Hole Jiu-Jitsu, Madama Jiu-Jitsu, and 2 Minute Warning Sports 360, we are Pride Rules Podcast. Good night.